I'm a big fan of KEEN footwear. Currently, I have a very ragged up pair of Targi 3s on my feet. I also have a pair of Targi 2 lows, Targi 2 mids, as well as an office type shoe for my day job. So when I was looking for something with a protective toe, I turned to KEEN's. And why I prefer a protective toe is that a good few years ago, when I was actually building the garage, I accidentally dropped a piece of 2x10 by 10 spruce on my toe. It hurt. So after that point in time, I made it a point of making sure that most of the shoes that I wear out doing anything where I could hurt my toes would have some sort of protective, I guess, membrane or whatever over the toe. So anyway, when I was looking for something, finally getting a good pair of shoes for my feet, I turned to KEEN's. Went through their website. They've got a lot of different types of work shoes, but I landed on these. These are the Arvadas, CSA approved, and they come in this cool blue color. Now, let's just walk through the features. These have a carbon fiber toe instead of a steel or aluminum. I thought that would be neat because it would be extra light, because the protective toe shoes that I have now, they're steel. I'll weigh them now. They're like extremely heavy. That's why I don't like them. These guys here, also, they're oil and slip resistant. Oil resistant, not so important for me because I'm not in an oily environment. Slip resistant is good because I will be wearing these outside, and, you know, I need a little bit of grip on the bottom. Electrical protection. While I'm not heavy into electrical, it's good to have that just in case. Puncture resistant. Big fan of that. Don't want any nails going up through the sole of the boot. Non-metallic. Not sure why I would need that, but hey, they're non-metallic. KEEN.ReGEN. Apparently this is a technology that KEEN uses to help, I guess, give you some rebound, some bounce in your step, I guess, when you're walking, so it'll make you less tired. Never used this before. Don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. And finally, abrasion resistant. So let's just open them up and take a look. Bought these directly from the KEEN website, KEEN Canada. KEEN Utility, making boots that work better. It's a pretty interesting wrapper. I don't know if this is for this particular shoe, giving all the... Oh, it speaks about the material, designed by JD. Oh. Reviewed by Harry, approved by Eric, revision 6.3. And KEEN 1-800 number. Anyway, let's take a look at them. So this is the shoe, the Arvada. It has a decent traction here. It's not super aggressive like on a lot of the KEEN outdoor shoes, but I think it's good enough for what I'm doing. Non-marking sole. Apparently has some reflective webbing somewhere in amongst this. And it also meets a whole bunch of safety standards. Now, if you want to know what they are, you might want to go to their website and check it out, because I have no idea what that means. It doesn't matter for what I'm doing. I'm just doing projects around the house, that sort of thing, and outside and in the garage. KEEN.ReGEN. Oh, and another thing, what I really like about KEEN's is that they're PFAS-free. It's not a nice chemical. It's a forever chemical that once it gets out in the environment, it's hard to disappear or get rid of, and it's quite nasty. But these folks at KEEN stopped using it back 2017, 2018 apparently. But you may want to, if you want some more information on it, just go to their website and take a look. Another thing that I like about KEEN's, according to their website, that a lot of their shoes, people use them if they have orthotics, if they have, special problems with their shoes and need special insoles. So their insoles are actually removable. And I've noticed that with all the other shoes, I had the Target 2s and Target 3s. Let's just see if this one... Oh yeah, look. It comes out quite easily. So if you did have a, I guess a foot challenge where you needed a special insole, it looks like they just might fit inside this shoe. That you'd have to check for yourself. Check with Keen's and your orthotics provider. But you know, at least an option. At least this is not glued permanently to the base of the shoe. Let's just pop that back in there. And what is this tag here? Electric shock resistance. Warning. Electric shock resistance deteriorates rapidly in a wet environment and with wear. Yeah, of course it deteriorates in wet because electricity likes traveling in wet environments. Okay, let's just throw these on the scale and compare them to my old protective work boots and see if they're any lighter. They feel lighter, but let's go check. These are my current protective shoes. They have a steel toe, aggressive on the bottom, and they are a mess. But I find these are extremely heavy, and after I wear them for a while, my feet ache like the dickens. So I'm hoping that these Keens will help with that. So first of all, let's weigh the shoe. Turn on the scale first might help. So this shoe is 691 grams. The Keen, 561 grams. So there is a significant difference. 692, 562, so it's 131 grams. So on a pair, that will be, well, double that. That's 260 grams, which is about half a pound. I'll just put the proper numbers up right here. But they do weigh a chunk lighter than these heavy old beasts that I've been using forever. So now let's try these on and see how they feel. After having quite a few Keens, I know that 8.5 is usually my size. Right now I've got a light pair of heavy socks on here. So I'll try those on and see how they feel compared to my other Keens. So my initial feel is that they feel a little different than my Target 2s and Target 3s. I think and mainly up here in the toe box, it seems a little stiffer, and that's probably rightly so because of the carbon fiber toe that's up here. But they do fit me. They're not too big, and I do have a little bit of room up at the top. And again, I'm an 8.5, and that fits me well in the rest of the Keen line. They do feel a little stiffer in the footbed than my other Keens, but then again, these are brand new shoes. They do have some sort of reinforcement underneath, and they are built for work wear rather than comfort wear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into rotation now. Use them for a few weeks, a month or so. Then report back on how they feel, how they hold up, and give you my thoughts on these cool blue Keen work shoes. Remember those Keens that I said that I'm going to be retiring? These are them. Pretty hard shape. They're still comfortable, but they really need to be retired. It's been 10 months since I first put the KEEN Arvadas on my feet. I've wore them pretty much every weekend and a few evenings during the week. I've done everything from spending hours on end out here in the garage on the concrete floor. I've shoveled crushed stone. I've been out in the garden. I've worked in our vegetable garden. I've cut down trees. You name it, I've done it. I've went even shopping for lumber for projects. And I have to say, they are the most comfortable work shoes I've ever put on my feet. You may recall these, or a version of these that I shown you earlier in the video. These, after wearing them for a couple of hours, would leave me very uncomfortable in the evening. My feet would be paining. I'd have to massage them. They were really bad. Wearing the Arvadas, none of that's ever happening. I wore them in the winter time. That's about the only drawback I would say with the Arvadas, is that where they're not insulated, they do tend to make my feet a little cold, so I just wore heavy socks. They kept my feet dry. You see a couple of videos there of splashing around in puddles, but during normal work as well, they kept my feet dry. So I have to say, I'm a big fan of the KEEN Arvadas. I'm a big fan of KEEN anyway, but these work shoes, they will never leave my feet. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.